Hello, American Literature 2. I'm sharing this quick video with you. I promise it won't be 20 minutes, to just kind of go over our midterm assignments and kind of a midway checkpoint. I updated our class last night with weeks 7 through 8, basically. Now, something I want you to keep in mind psychologically is that we have spring break. So normally our class goes from Wednesday to Wednesday. So you have a couple of small assignments due next Wednesday, and then larger assignments due 2 weeks later, because that's taking into account the spring break in between. So typically in my face-to-face classes, I don't give homework over spring break, or I don't give fresh homework. It would be absolutely possible in any of my classes, including yours, to work before spring break and after spring break and be able to do all of the work assigned. But typically at this point in the semester, it is midterm. We have an essay assignment. We're finishing up a group of readings to bring us up to 1945. So hopefully you can use this time to feel caught up and be able to focus in on the upcoming essay. So I'm going to share my screen and look at the class and what we have so far. Okay, so this should be kind of what our Canvas page looks like to you. It's my student view. And this is the new module that has appeared last night and was just updated this morning. So we'll look at the assignment first. And just like every week, it has the read, watch, quiz, discuss, and write components. I want to talk first about your reading assignment for the next couple of weeks. I'm of two minds of this, because this certainly is a large reading assignment. Most of these are poems. Many of them on our YouTube playlist, I've included some audio or maybe audiobooks for them. But on one hand, you might choose to pace yourself and spread out these readings for the next couple of weeks. On the other hand, I just want you to be aware that your essay assignment, your midterm essay assignment that has a lot of flexible creativity in terms of how I want you to choose your topic, it does include the option of including any of these readings through Steinbeck. So you might want to choose over the next week to just read like the wind and just power through, read a lot over the next week before March 10th. And then as you're kind of figuring out and focusing on your essay assignment, you'll have read all of the literature for the first half of the semester. So I just wanted to kind of give you that. There are kind of two options on how to deal with your readings, but I might encourage you to read a lot in the next week or so, and then just kind of focus your efforts on your writing for the rest of the time. As always, I hope that you, early in the week at this point in our class, you take out your textbook and kind of flip through all of these reading assignments and figure out, okay, here are some short poems, here are a couple of longer short stories, so you know what's ahead and you pace yourself accordingly. Because of course, if you wait to do readings until the day before assignments are due, you will be miserable and be cursing me. My hope is that at the beginning of the week, you get the lay of the land, you know what readings are coming up, and you pace yourself accordingly throughout the span of the week. Okay, kind of go back to the class here. As always, we have our YouTube playlist. Just kind of as a reminder, when you open this on Canvas, if this is what your page looks like, click on this link and it will take you to YouTube. I don't know why that does that sometimes, but don't see this symbol as the end of the line. Go ahead and click on this link. So I just keep adding more to your playlist. Here is where we begin for the week, about Hilda Doolittle, or HD. Keep in mind when I include an audiobook, like this is a reading of The Wasteland, you may choose to listen to that as you read along, but you can assume that those audiobooks or kind of longer selections are optional, not required. And here we have an hour-long radio broadcast. Flowering Judas is just the first half of it. So again, just kind of think critically as you're going through these videos. Most of them are very short and just provide you with some supplemental material. This, a quick note, this was a student film by George Lucas, a kind of avant-garde interpretation of E. Cummings' Anyone Lived in a Pretty How Town. So I just thought that was really interesting and wanted to include it in your playlist. Okay. All right, so that's your playlist for the week. The supplemental articles, our topic for the week being yellow journalism. And then a link also, we kind of, the last week we talked about the history of film, and this week yellow journalism, but I'm carrying this over because it's a pretty cool video that will take us from kind of the historical beginnings to what will be awaiting us in the second half of the semester when we talk about the golden age of Hollywood. And then this is an article about Zora Neale Hurston and the Federal Writers Project, which is a fascinating history that I hope you delve into. So you have 2 assignments due, aside from your reading, which again, I hope you kind of front load and do that soon, but your midterm survey and your topic discussion for your midterm essay, these are due next Wednesday by midnight. The survey is 3 very quick questions, not about specific literature, so that will be very easy for you to move through. The midterm essay, this is a discussion forum for you to kind of pitch and workshop what you're hoping to write about for your essay. I will be responding, maybe your classmates, you'll be in a dialogue, but this is just in the hopes that by next Wednesday at midnight, you kind of have an idea of where you're going and what you're doing for your midterm essay. And that's what I'm going to focus on for the rest of this video. Your midterm essay assignment is a comparative analysis. First of all, if you've taken Comp 2 before, the spirit of this assignment should feel familiar, because it's likely that throughout the semester, at the end of the semester, you wrote a literary comparative analysis. And this is very much a similar structure. So what I am asking you to do is to look at all of the readings you've read this far in the semester, so from Whitman through Steinbeck, and you'll choose at least 2 of those texts and develop a claim, also known as a thesis or an argument, weaving together those 2 texts. There are many ways to do this. You might do a pretty traditional literary analysis. Maybe the symbolism in the stories supports a common theme. Maybe you're playing with the idea of point of view or imagery. So that would be kind of a classic literary analysis. But you are making an argument. You're trying to prove to your reader that these similarities mean something, that there's meaning behind these observations you're making. And you may also look through the lens of social or historical or cultural themes. So you're still looking at 2 primary sources, a short story and a poem, 2 poems, a story and a manifesto. Again, any of the readings that you've done so far. But maybe you're making the connection that they represent a certain kind of historical moment in time. There's some sort of sociocultural meaning that you're deriving from these 2 texts. That's another way to consider this assignment. And you may only focus on similarities. Please do not think of this as kind of your compare contrast paper where you talk about these are how they're similar, this is how they're different. At the end, you're wanting to dig in and give meaning to the similarities. And if you do also play with differences, giving meaning to those as well. This is a broad assignment. You know, there's a lot of leeway. And I do that on purpose. And this is only frustrating if you want an easy way out or if you wait until the last minute. So what I want you to be doing at this point is, of course, kind of reading through these final readings so you can get a full picture of the first half of the semester. But think about what intrigued you, what sparked your curiosity, what would you like to learn more about, and kind of go down that path and be focused in on your argument. The resources that you should use are your textbook, first and foremost, the linked films and articles that I've provided, and there are some really great handouts and resources that I'm going to point to as well. And this is a little checklist about making sure your essay includes these things. And the parameters are here. This is going to be about a 3-page essay, not counting the works cited page. The minimum is 2 primary sources, 2 texts from your text list. Again, the poems, the short stories, the speeches, those primary texts. If you go above and beyond those 2 sources, I would encourage you to use the sources posted on Canvas. And there are many of them. If you want to kind of go beyond those sources, just shoot me an email, let me know. I won't say no, but I like to vet sources with you. In terms of resources, I've included just a PDF of a basic slideshow about writing literary analysis, a comparative literary analysis. And then at the very top of the class, under writing resources, I implore you to really dig into these resources and utilize them. There's a checklist for formatting your paper, the OWL online writing lab, and this is specifically a handout about comparative analysis. So if you really delve in to these resources, you should feel really equipped in terms of the technicalities of writing this essay. So there we are. I hope that that's a bit clearer. I also hope that, of course, we have the discussion forum where we'll talk about paper topics, but you can start emailing me today. If you have ideas or questions or clarifications, maybe you're kind of interested in a broad topic, but you don't know how to narrow it in, that is what I'm here for. So shoot me an email. If you want to call and talk on the phone, if you want to have a Zoom meeting, that is what I'm here for. So get to work, get to reading, get to brainstorming and thinking about what you'd like to explore further for this essay. And remember that you have due dates on March 10th and March 24th. But you have everything you need for the next few weeks. There will be no surprises. So look through everything, make sure it all makes sense, and let me know if you have any questions. Because if you have questions, other students probably do too. So that helps me also in case I need to clarify anything or reach out to the entire class. So thank you for your work so far. And let me know if you need anything. Have a great week, and I hope that you're enjoying this weather.